What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to your next edition of Movie Battleground. I'm your host tonight, Kevin, the Philosopher Poss. I am representing Aaron, but anyway, let's get to it. We have an awesome match tonight between one of the founders of TMG Entertainment himself, Matt Beer, 3-4 with 2 knockouts, versus Jacob Barber, 1-2 with a knockout. So this is going to be a pretty evenly matched match, if I should say so myself. Matt is kind of more or less coming out of retirement. So I'm very excited to see these two players get into it. So first we're going to get into, well, that sounds bad. First we're going to talk to Mr. The Beefcake, Jacob Barber. What's up, bro?
What's going on? Full disclosure, I feel like absolute garbage today, but we've already delayed this twice, so I didn't want to do it a third time. So I'm just here, ready to have fun, try my best, and hope it all works out.
Hey, that's I've definitely been in your shoes. So Aaron says here that you are making your return to the battleground after more than a year off. So actually, both of you are coming back after a little bit of a hiatus. Besides the exhibition matches. So you went straight into a knockout victory in your last match. Does that give you this confidence going into a match versus this more experienced player in Matt?
Yeah, I feel like if I take the time to prepare and actually, have stuff ready, then I feel like I can hang. It's all about just getting your points across and trying to do it well. I feel like I did that in my last match. So if I can do that here today, then I don't come in expecting a knockout, but I do come in expecting to do my best, and that's what I'm going to try to do today. I'm looking forward to it. Just a great match.
Hey, we're looking forward to that as well. Glad to have you, and let's bring in your opponent. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Barber. All right. So bringing in Mr. 3-4 with 2 KOs, Matt Beer. What's up, buddy?
Oh, nothing. Welcome to my Mojo Dojo Casa House. It's a brick wall.
I like it.
Pretty beautiful, if you ask me.
It is.
I'm doing all right, though.
That's always good. So Aaron's little blurb here. He says your return this season has been going solidly with a return win, but then you lost to a much more advanced opponent. So you're kind of 50-50 here coming into this match.
Yeah, Aaron doesn't like me.
Right. He's trying to knock you down before you go into the fight. But how, with your experience, and you've been in this game for as long as it's been around, pretty much. How do you feel that gives you the edge coming into today?
I don't know, if I'm going to be honest. I'm not great at preparing. I'm very last minute. That's just how I am in life. I will always be last minute when it comes to preparing for things. Was last minute getting my place, but I got it. And I'm hoping, even though I'm going to be last minute with my notes, I was writing 5 minutes before you got in. Luckily, I finished before you hopped in. I'm hoping that I can get a win. Hopefully, it's fresh enough where I can get the win. But honestly, I expect to be knocked out, if I'm going to be honest. Again, Aaron hates me. Put me up against Austin. Hey, Austin, sorry you lost your title match. Here, let's put you up against a guy that's just And that's what Aaron did. So thank you, Aaron. It's great morale.
Thank goodness I'm not Aaron. I did have a nice dinner with Aaron last night. He was in Atlanta, so that was fun. Anyhow, let's move on to our match rules. I do want to go ahead and say this will be Movie Battleground, which will be a best of 5 or first of 3 points. Wins each round of debate. Excuse me. Let me find the thingy here. There we go. All right. So each round of debate's worth 1 point. If one competitor earns the first 3 points in a row, that will be a victory by knockout, as you both know. If it is a 2-2 draw at the end of 4 rounds, we go to the tiebreaker blind round. You guys may or may not have experience with that, but stage 1 will be a 60-second opening argument for each of you. You have received these questions prior to the match. You've sorted out who's going to go first on which question. Stage 2 is your 2-minute solo. Stage 3 is your the 4-minute open debate round where you both go at it, and the 4th stage is the 60-second closing round. So my 3 judges, which will be brought on screen afterward, I do want to say thank you to them. I do have Dr. Spaceman, Alan Shepard, Nick Hernandez, and Ryan Caramel Mountain Payne in the background. So, I'm sitting here. I haven't even. Oh yeah, I have. Let me bring Jacob back in.
There we go.
I don't know why I haven't done that. I'm an idiot. It's because I want screen time. I need screen time. Sorry.
And he's gone.
And he's gone.
He's gone. Where did he go? I don't know.
I think he removed him. There he is.
Scared me.
Yep.
Nope, he's gone.
All right. So Matt,
God.
Matt is the favorite in this match. And you chose to go first on questions 1 and 3. Jacob, you'll go first on 2 and 4. You guys can hear me, right?
I hear you.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Kevin Pass.
All right. Awesome. Let me go ahead and bring in the timer.
There we go.
And as I said, we will be using this Google timer due to my computer being a little slow, but that's all right. Everybody in this house is a little slow. Sorry, it happens. All right. So let's move on to your first question, guys. First question. What is the best performance of the 20 nominated performances of the year 2015? And I can only assume this means Academy Awards.
Yep.
So there you go. What is the best performance of the 20 Academy Award nominated performances in the year 2015? Okay, so Matt, you decided to go first. That's correct?
Yes.
Okay, on number 1. All right, perfect. So you'll get your 1 minute as soon as you start speaking.
Alrighty. So, 2015, that was a stacked year when it came to the nominees and just all the performances and a bunch of other awards like movies and whatnot. It was a stacked year. A lot of great movies came out that year. So this one was pretty difficult, but I had to go with Sylvester Stallone as Rocky in Creed. So Sylvester Stallone in Creed, he's really what makes that movie. He's the heartbeat of that movie. He's the soul of that movie. he's the guy, he brings the emotion in that film. And in my opinion, it's his best performance of his entire career. I'm being distracted by Alan, but it's okay. But no, so yeah, you have Sylvester Stallone in there. Like I said, he brought in the emotion. He, because his whole storyline is about him, Rocky having cancer and all that stuff, and he really does he brings his A game. I didn't realize that's time. 1-0.
Time. All right. Well, that was an interesting round with Godzilla, or I'm not 100% sure it was Godzilla. Maybe some form of Godzilla in the background. All right. I may make this full screen just so I can focus.
I just see
as much as I love you guys. All right, let me take off this banner. Sorry about that. So we'll go to answer number 2, which will be, let me reset. And answer number 2, which will be Jacob. Time starts when you begin speaking, sir.
Yeah, I'm in total agreement that 2015 was a stat, and we finally saw a man win an Oscar who probably at this point should have been a 2 or 3 time Oscar winner. I'm talking about Leonardo DiCaprio, and he finally wins for The Revenant, which is, I think, just one of the best performances of his career. Leonardo DiCaprio, he does good work. He does good dramatic in this movie. I've been in awe of his performance. Working with the other actors that were in this movie, there were names in here absolutely above them all. In case you were wondering, I haven't seen the Bear. That is my answer. Sorry, I'm so out of it. My words are just being mixed up. I'm just going to ramble for the last 2 seconds. This is going to be a great match.
Oh, yeah. Alan distracting me with dinosaurs.
I can't see the bats, so.
Look. Match of the year. Say, Kevin's on mute. I'm going to assume it's my time to go, so I'll go. So again, Creed, it doesn't work without Sylvester Stallone with the emotion he brings to it, his whole storyline in it, and just how he's able to elevate his storyline with his performance in that movie. He's funny in the movie. He's able to nail the comedy in the movie. He doesn't feel like he's too old to be in these movies. He feels like the way he's performing in this movie, it makes it feel like he needs to be in this film. And as we saw with Creed 3, yeah, Creed 3 is a good movie, no doubt about it at all, but it's clearly missing Sylvester Stallone. And this performance in Creed shows why there's something lacking in Creed 3. So Leonardo DiCaprio, he's really good in The Revenant, no doubt about it at all. But he doesn't give the best performance in his category. You have Michael Fassbender, who I thought was better in the Steve Jobs movie. I think Michael Fassbender personally should have won it for this movie. And I agree, Leo should have won an Oscar by that point. He should have had at least 1 or 2 Oscars. Wolf of Wall Street should have won. I'm sorry, McConaughey, you're great. Should have lost to Leo that year. But Leo doesn't really do anything special to me with his performance. Yeah, the nature stuff, it's not easy to go through, but his performance itself, when you look at it in that way, it doesn't really bring anything to the table that a Michael Fassbender did, or Sylvester Stallone did, or an Eddie Redmayne did in The Danish Girl. So again, I think Leo's good in the movie. I think there's other performances that you could have gone with. Like I said, I listed a few of them, but Sylvester Stallone, it just he like his performance right there. Everybody thought he was going to win. That's how good he was. Everybody thought he was going to win that Oscar, and when he didn't, everybody was shocked because everybody knew he gave the best performance that year. 3, 2, 1. Dun-dun-dun-dun.
And a countdown from Matt Beer. Very nice. All right, thank you for letting me know that I was muted because I was having some internet issues. Sorry I didn't throw your answer up on the screen. There you go, Jay Barber. Anyway, all right, let's move on to what will be your 4-minute debate. Let's get this set
2
up.
minutes. It should be 2.
I still have my 2 minutes.
The Barber still has the 2 minutes. Sorry about that.
Whether or not I use it all.
Fair enough. All right, cool. All right, whenever you start talking, my friend.
I'm not gonna sit here and say that Sylvester Stallone's not good in Creed because he absolutely is. But at the same time, he's playing a character that he's played 6 times before, and sure, it's in a different role. He's more of a manager, more of a trainer, but we've also seen that from him before. And so to say that Leo's not really bringing anything new, like you could say the same for Sylvester Stallone in Creed. But I'm not knocking the performance. It's still a really good performance. But it's what we've seen him do in Rocky. Like Rocky's his best character. Of course, he's going to bring it. Leonardo DiCaprio at times has to play by himself, and he shows that when he's on screen, he's a presence, and he really just holds the screen and he holds your attention. That bear attack scene, which is like 6 minutes, is some of the best, like most exciting 6 minutes. Like I'm on the edge of my seat, like what's going to happen to Leo? He works alongside Tom Hardy. Will Poulter's in this movie, and he shines above them all. Creed, you say Creed 3 lacks because of the lack of Sylvester Stallone. I disagree. I think we've seen Rocky's story, so the best of which is in his own movie. He's a supporting character for a reason because it's Creed's time, and I think Michael B. Jordan absolutely goes toe to toe with Sylvester Stallone in this movie. The Revenant, it's Leo's movie, and he is absolutely incredible. The nature stuff, the survival stuff, the attack stuff, the action, like war scenes with the Indians. Can we say Indians? It's it's an incredible performance, and one that should have been like his third or fourth. Yeah, I will agree. Wolf of Wall Street, Django. He should have won already. Like, and if you want to say that this is a like, oh, it's your turn.
Look, I'm Native American,
all right,
aka Indian. You're good. You're good.
I was gonna say I am also Native American, so I'll give it to you. Anyway, so we will change that to the 4-minute, the 4-minute argument, and 2 excellent arguments going in. Give each other some space. You guys know how this works. Let's spread it out. There we go. And whenever the first person begins speaking.
So I will say first foremost about Sylvester Stallone playing Rocky in 5 previous movies. Yeah, he did, but to me, just because he played the character multiple times, it doesn't change how good the performance is in that movie. And when I said Leo doesn't bring anything special, I'm not saying like that based off of originality. I just think based on the performances itself, when you compare them to like a Michael Fassbender, Sly, name any actor, actress, there's nothing special that elevates it over those things. So I just wanted to make that clear.
And I don't think there's anything special that Sylvester Stallone does because, again, he's playing a character he's played 6 times before. It's a character that he's created, he's written before, so he knows what to bring to the character. Leonardo DiCaprio is getting a script for a character that he, has to become, and he becomes that on screen. And, he's once that bear attack and he's, playing injured the rest of the movie because who's going to survive a bear attack like that other than Leonardo DiCaprio? It's pretty incredible what he goes through in the movie, and then his performance after that is just incredible. Like, again, all the nature stuff, the hiding inside a horse just to stay warm. Like, there's just so much stuff that he does in the movie that and he brings the material and he lifts it up. Sylvester Stallone is playing a character, again, not to beat a dead horse, like Leonardo did in The Revenant. But he's playing a character. Yeah, he's played a trainer. He's played a boxer. He's done all of that before, and there's really nothing special about his performance either. It's just a really good Rocky performance.
Well, you could say, like, because he said, he knows what he needs to bring to the character Rocky. You could have said that about Rocky 4 or 5. And yeah, Rocky 4 is a fun movie, but he's not great in those movies like he is in Creed. Just the whole cancer storyline there, and just how he takes that and he's able to elevate that adds something to it. He makes you on the verge of tears. Like my dad, he doesn't care. He sees some really messed up stuff, doesn't care. He saw what Rocky went through and just the performance that Stallone gave, and my dad's bawling like a little baby man. But the things you were describing, like with the horse and with the bear attack, like those are intense things, but those aren't based off of his performances. Those are just actions that are happening with like CG characters, and then Leo's just kind of there. Like you could throw
Leo's
in
there with the CG character. It's hard to act against CG characters, and Leo does it so flawlessly. Like you're on the edge of your seat during that bear attack, and when you think it's over, and he's struggling to like get his gun, and then he's attacked again, and then he's struggling to get the knife, and he's rolling down the hill, and the bear's falling on him. Like that scene alone is just so incredible. Like I think it beats anything in Creed. And again, I'm not knocking Sylvester Stallone's performance, because to be honest, I think we have the right two answers. I'm just gonna put that out there. I do, but Rocky is a character that Sylvester Stallone has played 6 times before. He knows what to bring to the character. This is a different type of character for Leo, and he knocks it out of the park.
You can play a character a million times, and you could be better in some movies than you are in other movies. And with Stallone, he's phenomenal in this film. He is the heartbeat of this film. The film doesn't work without his performance. You can put any really good actor in that role in The Revenant, and you'll be perfectly fine. It's still going to work as a movie.
But it's not an
a
Oscar-winning performance without Leo.
But yeah, there's actors that can give that type of performance. It's like middle of the road for Leo. Like it's like Leo's a great actor, but that's
and
middle of the
time. All right, great job, guys. Let's reset the clock for your 1-minute closings. You'll each get you'll each get a minute. Starting with Matt. When you begin speaking, sir.
So again, look, Leo's good in The Revenant, but it's nothing special, like compared to the other performances that year. I don't think it's even the best performance of his category. Like, again, I think Fassbender's better than him. The bear stuff, the horse stuff, like you can put in any really good actor and you're going to get the same result. Like it's a middle of the road Leonardo DiCaprio performance that many other actors could have pulled off. Okay. Like this is not the Oscar win that he should have won for. There's other movies that I think were better. But with Sylvester Stallone, there are moments in that Creed movie that just emotionally do things to you that nobody else was able to do that year. Like when he's getting into Michael B. Jordan during some of the workout phases, and he's pumping him up and he's getting real emotional, and you could tell he's getting emotional because he's dying of cancer, or we think he's dying of cancer. It adds to it. Just he's the heartbeat of that film. The emotional performance is great.
Time, guys. All right, great job, and we'll reset for Mr. Barber. 1 minute closing when you begin speaking.
I don't think you can put any other actor in that role and you get an Oscar-winning performance. Leo absolutely shines. Just even when he's got no dialogue, the facial expressions that he's able to do, the physical stuff that he has to do, he does it flawlessly. And he absolutely deserved his Oscar win. Sylvester Stallone didn't even win Best Supporting, even though it was expected. There obviously were better performances in that category because Sylvester Stallone didn't win. Sylvester Stallone was doing nothing different than he did in Rocky Balboa, which was about 9 years earlier. It was the same. He was running a restaurant, but this time, instead of being a trainer, he was making a comeback. It's pretty much the same that we've seen. He's Rocky. We've seen him play Rocky. There was nothing new, nothing special. This is a different type of character for Leo, where he had to do all this physical stuff. He had to, no dialogue, but facial expressions, and he performed it flawlessly. Again, the action, the drama, he nailed it, knocked it out of the park 100%.
And time. All right, great job, guys. Going to drop you both to the back and bring forth our judges. Let's take out the timer. Barber and Ryan, if you could bring yourself on screen.
Yeah, sorry, Kevin. My camera's just not working.
Oh, that's cool. You actually don't have to if you don't want to. I don't know why.
No. I tested my camera an hour ago, and after a couple of minutes, it was just start like
I
glitching.
said that like I didn't trust you or something, but no, no, you're fine. You can, that's totally fine. You can just do it from your mic.
I would have to leave and then come back.
No, you're fine. We'll just do it this way. So we'll do it in this order. So we'll start with Nick. Nick, how did you feel about this debate, this question, and who won it for you?
Man, this was really tough. Keep going back and forth between each of them. I think they both had really good points, really good arguments. I ultimately decided to settle on Matt here because I think his point about, this is a Rocky character, that he's played this part several times before, Sylvester Stallone, but he hasn't deserved an Oscar for necessarily all of them, but he did for Creed, so that's why I went with Matt there. As far as, Leo's concerned, it's a good performance, but it's not up to the caliber of what Leo is capable of, so I went with Matt there.
Adrian! All right. So he gets the point. Matt gets the point. All right. So Dr. Spaceman, Alan, who gets your point and why in question number 1?
Well, I think both of them, did a good job knocking the cobwebs off. They were both concerned about, they were fumbling around verbally for a little bit, but about the mid through the 4-minute and then their last minute, excellent job, gentlemen. And I really like the back and forth. I went ahead and went with Matt as well, only because I thought Jacob had it when he was saying, look, of course it's going to be easy for Stallone to do this because he's played the role so many times. But Matt countered that with a good bunch of, he could be more nuanced with the character and, always add something new, which I appreciated. And we didn't hear enough about Leo other than the bear scene. So I would have liked to seen a few more other examples of scenes where Leo shined from Jacob. So I'm with Matt.
Okay, Matt wins round 1. Thank you, judges. And we'll pull the judges to the back and bring our competitors back to the front. There we go. All right, so good job, competitors, in round number 1. Matt, you picked up a point. So you did pick up round number 1, but we have a long match to go here. So we'll move on quickly to question number 2. And here is question number 2. What is the best animated franchise entry of the 2000s, and it must have been released between 2000 and 2009 and either started or have been part of a franchise? So you guys know and have obviously been told the stipulations. Hopefully you guys at home can figure that out. All right, so there you go. And so Jacob, you're going first on this question. So let me pull up the timer again. We got that ready. And so your 1 minute opening will begin as soon as you start speaking, sir.
Yeah, this was a kind of a easy one for me to answer because I think just personally I just really love this movie, so it was kind of easy for me to talk about it. I'm going with The Incredibles, which of course we wouldn't get a sequel for 14 years, but Pixar makes mistakes sometimes. It's okay. But The Incredibles, no pun intended, is an incredible movie. It's a superhero movie, it's a family movie, and it blends the two of those perfectly. We see the family life when mom and dad are struggling at home. Mom's trying to take care of the family, dad's trying to work, and they capture that so perfectly. But we also get a well-written superhero movie too, because we see that superheroes are kind of illegal, and they're just trying to do what they love. We get a villain that is absolutely well written, and you understand why he's upset with Mr. Incredible, because Mr. Incredible was his hero, and he's kind of like, hey, I don't need you. I work alone. You're not supposed to be here. And he's just trying to help him, and he's pushing him away.
And time. All right. So Jacob has chosen The Incredibles. An incredible choice, if I may say so myself, as the host. But we'll move over to Mr. Beer and see what he chose as the best animated franchise entry of the 2000s. When he starts speaking, you get 1 minute, sir.
I will agree with Jacob. I think this was an easy question to answer, and it's Shrek 2. Shrek 2 is the best animated movie that came out between 2000 2009. To me, it's probably the best sequel animated film we've gotten. I can't really think of any that would, besides like a Toy Story 2, that might be like the one. But there's like hardly any. This movie is fantastic. I absolutely love this film. All the little like what's it called? There's like little just references that like adults would get, like the OJ Simpson thing, like the whole chase with that, and then you have the storyline where Shrek becomes human and Donkey becomes a horse, and you have Puss in Boots introduced in this movie, which is one of the best characters from the DreamWorks library. So it's Shrek 2.
And time. All right. Both are itching to go into their 2 minutes. So let's right in. Jacob, take it away. Let me take that away. Speaking of. And you can start, Jacob, whenever you're ready, sir. You're muted.
You're muted.
It's because I didn't want to cough during your 1 minute. You're welcome.
Sorry.
Totally forgot. Thank you guys. So again, I'm not going to sit here and act like Shrek 2 is a bad movie, because it's not. It's really good, but I don't think it's even the best in its franchise. I think Shrek absolutely is the best in its franchise. It kicks off that franchise so perfectly, because we get to know these characters, and we get to know who Shrek is and why he is the way he is. We get introduced to Donkey, and just the introduction of all these characters. When you introduce characters right, like it stands the test of time, and it absolutely does. I think getting to know characters is a lot more fun than just going on adventures with them afterwards, which is what we do. We just go more. In The Incredibles, the reason why I think The Incredibles is the best is because it tackles sort of two genres and does it perfectly. You got the superhero side, which what do you want in a superhero movie? You want great action, you want a well-written villain, and you get both of those in The Incredibles. You get a well-written script with the family side as well. The dinner scene is great. The school life. With Violet and Dash. Because they're special. They've got these powers and they can't use them, and that you see the struggle with that. You see mom trying to juggle things at home between the two kids who are always bickering. And if anyone has a sibling, it's like that sometimes. Like there's just so much realism in this movie too when it comes to the family side. But then you've got the action, and it's just so incredible. You get a well-written villain, Syndrome, played by Jason Lee, who does an incredible voice performance, and you understand why he's upset. Shrek 2, like if I'm going to go back to a Shrek movie, I'm going to go back to the original Shrek, and I'm going to go back to where we were introduced to these characters, because it was just so much fun. Shrek 2, it's a continuation of the first. It's good, but it doesn't reach that level of the first for me, where we're introduced to all these characters. We get these, these fun like fairy tale references, and again, Shrek 2 is good. Shrek is better.
All right, great timing there, and we will reset. And 2 minutes for Matt Beer. Why is Shrek 2 the best animated franchise entry of the 2000s? Your 2 minutes begin when you start talking. And you're muted, sir.
See, I had to copy Jacob there. Had a little bit of fun. Anyway, I like The Incredibles. I do. It's a good movie. It's a good film. It did give us Incredibles 2, which is not that great of a film, and that's kind of a knock right there. But it's a good movie. It's a fun movie. But that's about it, right? Like, there's other Pixar movies that came out around that time that they just add something to it. They have meaning in that film. And Incredibles is a fun movie, sure, but that's really all it does. What Shrek 2 does is it takes the greatness of Shrek and it elevates it, it upgrades it, and it makes it even better. In live action terms, Spider-Man 2 takes Spider-Man and it builds on it and it runs. That's what Shrek 2 does. Again, this is a movie that, like, if you were to ask, somebody my age, hey, what would you rather watch? Would you rather watch Incredibles, Shrek 2? I'm going to choose Shrek 2 because there's more for the grown-ups. There's more for the older teens to enjoy in this film. Like I said, there's a lot of references. There's a lot of play on with the fairy tale stuff too. Some of the funniest moments in any animated movie is in this too. Like when they're coming to Far, Far Away or whatever. And, everybody's so excited to see Fiona and her new husband. And then they come out and they're ogres. And everybody's just like, what the hell? It's truly one of the funniest things in there for sure. You get some real fun characters introduced in this too. Like I said, Puss in Boots. I love Puss in Boots. Prince Charming, the fairy godmother. You have Fiona's parents. Like, you got some really good characters. And this is really the final great Shrek movie before we get to some fun but good movies like Incredibles. But overall, I just think this is a movie that not just kids can enjoy. This is something adults can enjoy too. Time.
All right, great arguments there, and we're gonna go to the 4 minutes, and 2 are gonna go into the ring. The Incredibles versus Shrek 2. You guys know how it works. Give each other some time and, be respectful. And, this is a big point. So let's go. First one to talk starts the clock.
The Incredibles is absolutely a movie for everyone. There's just the innuendo at the beginning of the movie. You think kids are going to get that? No, that's going to go right over their heads. That's in there for adults. You think kids are going to understand the family aspect where mom and dad are arguing? Mom says, "Hey, I could use a little help out here." No, that's
I did
for the adults.
I understood it.
Well, yeah, but it's also in there for the adults. Like it's a movie for everyone, not just kids. So I don't understand where that's coming from. There's in here for everyone, absolutely.
No, what I was saying was, Pixar adds some things in there that adults can enjoy. Toy Story's done it. Finding Nemo's done it. I don't know about Bug's Life, but I haven't seen a Bug's Life in a while. But Pixar does add some things into their movies for adults. Toy Story 2 has the whole I'm your father sequence and stuff. But what I'm saying is, as somebody who's my age or somebody that could be older or whatever, or if you ask my parents when these movies came out, hey, what would you rather watch? There's more things in Shrek 2 that they can enjoy personally. And I think just like the first Shrek, they don't just kind of like throw it out there in your face and it just feels like it's being forced. It's just naturally put in there. Like I said, with the OJ Simpson chase, no kid's going to understand that. But if you are around during OJ, or if you know of OJ and that whole thing, that chase. and you can have fun with that. And then, of course, there's the news station recording as like Shrek and Donkey and all of them are getting arrested. And, like there's whole police brutality thing is what Donkey says, which, hey, they were first at it. They talked about it first. So, I mean, revolutionary to how we act. But I just think it's a smarter written script. I think it's a wittier script too. I think Incredibles is fun.
I'm going to disagree with that because I think Shrek 2 is tackling just one genre. It's tackling a comedy, whereas The Incredibles is tackling superheroes and family, and it's doing it both really well. Like, you understand the family life. You understand, dad's kind of away. He's going on all these business trips, and he's doing what he can to support his family while mom's at home taking care of the kids. But at the same time, we're getting, Syndrome, who's a well-written villain, who's, talking about monologuing, and then he's monologuing like, oh my goodness, you got me monologuing. There's fun action. Like, when they're finally working together as a family, as a unit, it's some of the best action scene I've seen, not only in an animated movie, but in a superhero movie in general. Like, them working together. This is the best Fantastic Four movie we've gotten that's not called Fantastic Four. It's incredible the way they're able to work together and the way, they come together as a family. The school stuff is all good. Like, everything about this movie, the script is just so well written. I'm trying to think of anything memorable from Shrek 2, and nothing is coming to mind. Like in Shrek, there's so much more better stuff, like the wrestling stuff. There's just a lot more to remember from Shrek, where there's an argument to be made. Is Shrek or Shrek 2 the best of the franchise? Whereas with The Incredibles and Incredibles 2, you're like, yeah, The Incredibles is clearly superior.
It's because Incredibles 2 is not that good of a movie. But look, the Fantastic Four thing, I could record myself taking a dump, call it Fantastic Four, and that's going to be better than the Marvel Fantastic Four stuff we got. But Shrek 2 is more than just comedy. Shrek 2 has drama. There's the whole, love triangle thing. There's the whole storyline with Prince Charming and his mom tricking Fiona. But it's not just a comedy. There's drama. It's a rom-com. It's all this stuff. I'll get more into it when we get to our closings because there's a lot to unpack. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Kevin, you're muted. But hey, it's okay. All right, guys, and that is time. So now we're going to move on to the 1 minute. We're going to start off with Jacob.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
No,
you're good. Everybody has to do the mute thing. I have to be cool like you guys. All right. Sorry about that. All right. So we are moving on to the 1 minute. Great argument. I was saying that Matt's dump is coming in 2024. So everybody be on.
It's not affected by any of the strikes.
It's a non-union.
SAG-AFTRA is not affected.
The feces will sign after the movie comes out.
We're moving on. Jacob, you're starting this one, and you will start your time will start when you begin speaking.
The Incredibles is absolutely the best animated franchise, and not just the franchise entry. It's one of the best animated movies of the 2000s. It's the best of a studio that's given us, several, all-time animated movies. Shrek 2, there's an argument to be made that it's not even the best in its franchise. Where Shrek is arguably the superior film because the introduction to these characters is so much better than what we get in Shrek 2. The Incredibles is a well-written family superhero movie with great action, a great villain. The animation itself is beautiful. It's stunning in The Incredibles. Shrek, the animation is just it's fine. It's whatever. It's animation that we've seen before. The animation in The Incredibles, like when they're on the water and they're able to, and Dash is running, that whole sequence is just incredible to look at. I don't know how many times I've said incredible during this, but The Incredibles is incredible.
And time. I don't know, but it is incredible for sure. So we'll go to Matt Beer. Close it out 1 minute, and whenever you start speaking.
This is the times where I wish we had the 1 minute extension, but nonetheless, here we are. So again, I think The Incredibles is a fun movie. You yourself have said it's one of the best animated films in the 2000s, but it's not the best. That would be Shrek 2. Shrek 2. Whoa. Sounds. Whoa. What is going on? What is going? Okay, I don't know what that was. Anyway, Shrek 2. Wrapping it up in 30. So
hang on, hang on. I'll pull you back.
I was like, what the hell was that?
Shenanigans. I'm calling shenanigans.
I'll say exactly what I said before. It'll feel like there's no cut at all.
The start back around 45 is when it started. So
again, I think Shrek 2. I think The Incredibles is a fun movie. I enjoy the movie. I have a good time. But to me, what is the best film, the best written film, a film that is for everyone or works for everybody more than The Incredibles is Shrek 2. You yourself said Incredibles was one of the best animated films of the 2000s. And I agree, but it's not the best. That would be Shrek 2. Shrek 2 has a lot to offer. For one, it takes the greatness of the first Shrek, elevates it, adds more to it. You got so many references. You got so many storylines. You got a great villain, too, in Prince Charming, who is a more than a one-dimensional character like Syndrome is.
And time. Yeah. All right.
Can we keep going?
Now, guys.
I wish we could.
Pull you to the back. Let me get the timer. Matt. And Barber. All right, let's bring in Nick, Dr. Spachemin, and Ryan's in somehow.
Did you ever remove me from stream, Kevin? Because that could have been me because my alarm.
Yeah. You're actually, it was because you're actually in the stream. Yeah, that was my. It was my fault. Anyway,
wasn't me this time.
No, right.
Like
I felt the same way.
I'm taking notes. I'm like, wait, why am I getting an echo? Am I not off screen?
Why do I hear my phone? All right, so that was a great round. Focus on some great animated films. Ryan, start us off on who won that round for you and why.
I will admit this was definitely a harder one to go from the last question, even though I didn't get a cast of both. Both Jacob and Matt gave some very great points going back and forth, even giving some good jobs with some details on why some of their films was better. But I'm going to have to give mine to Matt because not only did Matt have some good examples, he was able to at least expand a few more. I mean, like, for instance, he talked about the O.J. Simpson reference in Shrek 2, but he also expanded more on it with the police brutality joke. That definitely is a joke that kids would not have gotten, so that is a good point there. And while Jacob had some great points, too, about The Incredibles being more than just a film about superheroes and family, I felt that there could have been a little more he could have dived into on that to really strengthen his argument. But my point's going to Matt.
Good points. Let's move on to Nick. We'll circle back to Nick. And who won this round for you and why?
So this was a tough one. It's a good arguments back and forth. I think that Matt had the better movie, but I think Jacob had the better argument. I liked his points about just you get more variety out of Incredibles than you do Shrek 2. And I just don't think that Matt really argued more than the reference humor. There's so much more to that movie, so I just went with Jacob on this one.
Very good point. It is a favorite of mine because it's a superhero movie, not necessarily because it's animated. But let's move to Dr. Spaceman to break the tie. Who wins the round and why?
All right. Good arguments, both ends. You guys definitely knocked off some cobwebs again for show. I boiled it down to honestly who was, because you guys defended your movies very well, but Jacob really hit hard with, I can't even remember any scenes from Shrek 2. And I went, oh, yeah, I can't remember anything from Shrek 2 either. So I went with Jacob and Rise of the Silver Surfer. It rules. Okay. So no more bash talking Fantastic Four films because that one's the one. All right. Love y'all.
All right. I am a big fan myself. Let's go Lawrence Fishburne. All right. And I'll remove you this time, Ryan. Sorry about that last time. Let's put back our competitors.
I guess my Venmo
After
didn't
the
go
voting, we're
Mine
back
must have.
even. We're even 1-1. So, question 3 can break this tie here. And this is a fun question. I don't know how Aaron came up with this one, but
I'm glad you think so.
it's fun because I don't have to deal with it. What's the best comedy which is led by dogs? Best comedy led by dogs. So Matt, you'll go first on this one, correct?
Yes.
All right. So why don't you, let me pull up the timer, reset that, mother. All right. And whenever you start speaking, sir, we'll start your 1 minute.
So I thought this was going to be a difficult one to answer until I sat down for 30 seconds. And to me, it's Best in Show. Best in Show is the best comedy, which is led by dogs. You got a great cast, first and foremost, in this film. I mean, you got guys like Eugene Levy, Christopher Guest, Catherine O'Hara, Fred Willard, Michael McKean, which, if you've seen Better Call Saul, that's where you'll know him from. John Michael Higgins, Jane Lynch. I mean, it's a stacked cast. This is a mockumentary kind of making fun of dog shows. And, it's a satirical film as well. And I'm not a fan of satirical films normally, but this one, they were able to get it. Christopher Guest, he worked on This Is Spinal Tap. You could tell that he had a big impact with this one. So Best in Show is the best.
All right. Time.
One.
And so we have Best in Show for Matt. Let's see what Jacob picked. 1 minute when you start talking, sir.
Yeah, I absolutely loved this question. This question was fantastic. So no, I mean, it's a good question. It's just dog-led comedies is not a genre that I often think about. So the first movie that came to mind, and so it was the first movie that I went with. I went with Beethoven. I think Beethoven is a fun time. And it's a movie that actually focuses on the dog and just not the people who are leading the dogs to a dog show. This movie focuses on the dog and how it affects this family and how it really, brings this family together at the end. You got a fun Charles Grodin performance, Bonnie Hunt's in this movie, Stanley Tucci, Oliver Platt. There's just so many good actors in this movie as well. And it's just a fun time. It's just a fun dog movie. There's some good dog humor. It's a good 90 minutes. Sit down, turn your brain off, have some fun. If you like dog movies where dogs don't die, because apparently dogs die in like 80% of the movies they're in, which is stupid. Don't kill the dogs. Beethoven's my choice.
All right, time. All right. A rough first round.
I get it.
And we'll
Puns.
move on to the second round, and I'll think of another one. So 2 minutes for Matt Beer for his plot, or whatever that's called, the 2 minute round. You know what it's called.
Yeah.
2 minute round. So go ahead whenever you start talking.
So when I was younger, I saw Beethoven. I saw a lot of movies when I was a little kid, Didn't get to watch a lot of classics, but that's neither here nor there. But I did watch Beethoven, and yeah, I had a fun time when I was little. But if you go back and watch the movie, it's not really that great. It's kind of a basic run-of-the-mill type of film. It's very predictable. It doesn't really do anything. It is what it is. I mean, Stanley Tucci's in it. That's cool. Yay. But I don't sit down, watch it, and go, oh boy, I love this movie. I got to watch it again sometime. Best in Show, I can do that for sure. And yeah, there is more focus on human than there would be in other dog movies, for sure. But when I'm thinking of what's the best movie in general, Best in Show is the best one. It's the Best in Show for a reason. I don't like dog shows. I don't. So I really appreciated that it poked fun at just how dog shows are really stupid. The dogs don't enjoy it. It's more for rich people to just boost their egos. It's like, hey, I found this dog. Look what it can do. Am I so cool? Give me money. And this movie does poke fun at it. There's a lot of great scenes in this movie too. I'll get into those more in the 4-minute or in the closing, depending on when I get to it. But yeah, Best in Show, best one.
All right, you giving up the rest of your time?
I made it. Yeah, that's gonna be time.
All right, cool. We will stop the time here, reset it to 2 minutes, and we'll pass it over to Barber. Beethoven, 2 minutes whenever you start talking, sir.
Best in Show might be the better movie. I don't know. After 45 minutes, I turned it off because I just wasn't getting anything out of it. I'm going to be honest. There was nothing with the dogs. It was all focused on the humans that were, owning the dogs. There was really nothing with dogs. And the question is, what is the best comedy, which is led by dogs? And we get more of Beethoven in Beethoven than we get with the dogs in Best in Show. And we get some really good stuff with Beethoven. We go on walks with him where he, after everyone leaves for the day, we see what his everyday life is like. We see that he's meeting up with the dog that he escaped with at the beginning of the movie. He's going to these different shops, and people love Beethoven. They pet him. He goes to the firehouse and they give him water. I don't know what the dogs do in Best in Show other than just be there. It's not led by dogs, which is the question. What is the best comedy? Led by dogs. There's no leading of dogs in Best in Show. It's focused on the people. Beethoven is a movie that, yeah, sure, might not be the greatest, but it's definitely led by Beethoven. Beethoven is the main focus of this movie. It brings the family together. Charles Grodin didn't want the dog, but we see the dog grow up with this family, and he gets a change of heart where he's so focused on his business, and he wants his wife to go back to work with him. Like, let's get a babysitter, who isn't paying attention to the kids, who has to save the little girl in the pool. Beethoven does a lot more in this movie than the dogs do in Best in Show. So when it comes to led by dogs, which I'm going to hammer on because that's the question, Beethoven is more led by a dog than Best in Show is, which is a mockumentary focused on the owners going to a dog show. And yeah, 10 seconds. I don't need it.
All right.
I'm surprised I left 10 seconds on.
Last 10. Is it led by a dog? We shall see in... Ooh, that would be cool if we were going into the blind round. But anyway, all right, so 4 minutes. You guys know how this works. Let's see. Best in Show versus Beethoven. First one who speaks starts the clock.
So first, foremost, Aaron did accept it. So, let's be mad at Aaron if we don't like it. But the dogs do play a pivotal part in the film because the movie is about the dog shows. That's what the movie's about. Yes, you have the humans in there, but they add to the film. The dogs do play an important part to the film. Are they the leads? No, maybe not. But they're still
just side characters that show up every once in a while. While we're focused on the characters, I was more concerned about Eugene Levy and his wife not getting a hotel room and having to sleep in a utility closet than I was, hey, what are the dogs doing? Like, hey, that's no way to be on vacation. You don't want to stay in a utility closet.
No, you don't. But hey, you know what? Silly things happen to people.
And that's my takeaway from the movie. Nothing with the dogs.
But you take the dogs out of this movie, then you don't have this movie. No, you don't, because there's no dog show, and that's what the plot revolves around, the dog show. That's what the movie is. It's about dog show.
Yeah,
And
and
it would
it's
be a
about their
different movie.
preparation. It's not about the dog's preparation. It's about the humans preparing for the dog show.
You take out the
Beethoven
dog
is
show and the
about
dogs. What
Beethoven.
are they preparing for? Nothing. Checkmate. Beethoven, has a bigger role in Beethoven because it's called
Which
Beethoven.
is the question.
But the plot you described to me is a fantastic plot that's been used 50,000 times. It's not fantastic. It's very basic. It's a very basic film. It's a basic story. It's not that great of a movie at all. It doesn't hold up whatsoever. Best in Show does hold up.
This morning, and I was into it the whole time. I laughed several times. That end scene where they're in bed and you think they're just going to say goodnight Beethoven, and then they're saying goodbye to all the dogs that they rescued from this horrible veterinarian who wanted to, conduct experiments on them. That's a good moment. That's a nice payoff. And this family was brought together by this dog. I don't know what the dogs were doing in Best in Show because it was focused on the humans. It wasn't led by the dogs.
But here's the thing: we're talking about what's the best. Let's talk about the best movie in general, because again,
led by dogs.
But he accepted. So we're gonna go. We can go semantics. We can go semantics all we want, but he accepted it. Anyway, again, the movie, like you show a kid, sure, the kid's gonna enjoy it. This is a movie you can show your kids, and they'll be fine. But me personally, there's better movies you could show your kids that involve dogs. Like you show them Turner and Hooch. You could show them The Lady and the Tramp. You could show them Balto. You could show them The Adventures of Milo and Otis, even though there's a cat in it.
Same thing about Best in Show. If you want to show them a dog movie,
I wouldn't show my cat. I wouldn't show any kids. Well, they probably could handle Best in Show, but that's not a movie I think of when I think of kid. Something to put on for the kids while I go. Like if I'm busy, I'm not going to put on Best in Show because I'm going to want to watch Best in Show. You have great scenes in this movie, like God Loves a Terrier. We Met at Starbucks, another great scene. There's a lot of good ones. The comedy does get pretty crazy, but it never goes over the top. Look. Satirical films, mockumentary movies, when they start to get close to it, they easily get over and they start to be a little bit too much. Best in Show does a really good job of avoiding that line.
Good things about Best in Show. I'm not hearing anything about the dogs. I'm hearing a lot about.
That's why we're talking about the movie. We're not talking about the dogs. I'm not going to talk about Beethoven when I talk about the movie.
Led by dogs.
But again, semantics.
You can say semantics all you want.
We're going to get into the best comedy. We're going to get into the best comedy, which is Best in Show. And fun fact: this movie does have a lot of improv in the movie, but it works because of the cast. The cast has great chemistry in this movie. That it's a perfectly casted cast, and the director Guest does a really good job at making sure that the improv doesn't go crazy. That's time. Kevin's muted. Should we wait on Kevin?
Let's wait on Kevin.
Sorry, I have to it won't let me do it with two computers. It does. I have to click on one computer. No, never mind. Let's give these competitors a round of applause on these on that, and we'll
How long did you take that one?
It took me the whole 4-minute round, I'll be honest.
This question gets Best of Show.
All right, so we'll go to the 1-minute closing. Matt, you'll start us off, right?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. And when you start talking, sir, I'll start the clock.
So again, Beethoven. It's a very basic film, very run-the-mill. I've seen this type of movie 50,000 times, not just involving dogs, but other things as well. It doesn't really do anything for me. It's basic. I can watch many movies with the same type of story and get more enjoyment out of it. The plot, very formulaic, once again. I enjoyed it when I was younger, but it doesn't hold up like a Turner and Hooch does or a Best in Show does. And look, if you told me this script was written by a college student that was, in film class and he was trying to get something done because his assignment involved writing a script for dogs, I would totally believe you. Performances are fine in the movie. There's not a bad performance in the movie, but nothing really stands out to me overall. And again, you can show your kid this, but I would rather show them 50 other movies that involve dogs. Best in Show holds up. There's tons of great scenes. The comedy is great in this movie. The improv, it works. This movie doesn't go over the top.
Time. All right, great job pushing for Best in Show. So we'll move on to Jacob Barber pushing for Beethoven. You got 1 minute, sir, whenever you start speaking.
Yeah, I mean, you say there's a bunch of great scenes, but you only mentioned like one or two, so I'm not sure what the great scenes are that you're talking about. There's a lot of great scenes in Beethoven too, because Beethoven really brings his family together. He helps Rice talk to the boy that she is crushing on. He helps Ted with his bullies. He helps the other daughter, whose name I'm forgetting, out of the pool when she's drowning and dying. She brings his family together because Charles Grodin is an absolute, he's worried about his job and expanding and money, and he really brings them together. So when I think about the best comedy led by dogs, I'm thinking Beethoven. I'm not thinking Best in Show, because you can say semantics all you want. Beethoven, the dog, has more to do in Beethoven than the dogs do in Best in Show. I don't even remember any of the dogs' names from Best in Show. All I remember is Eugene Levy and what's her name having to sleep in the utility closet. Beethoven brought this family together, spawned sequels, spawned
Time. All right, great job, fellas. Gonna take you out and bring in the judges. Barber out. Let's put Nick in, Spaceman in, Ryan in. All right, so we went all the way around the horn last time. Ryan, you'll be starting us off again this time. Who won this round for you and why?
God damn it! Now I'm muted. Okay, I'll just get to it. I'll get to it. My point is going straight to Jacob, mainly because despite Matt talking good points about Best in Show, unfortunately the question is, which is the best comedy led by dogs? If Matt had just talked a little more, maybe brought up some details about some of the dogs and how they were connected to the elements of the characters and some of the scenes he was bringing up his point, would have my point would led more towards him. But throughout the last minute and a half of the debate round, Jacob really was chipping away at Matt's argument to where finally he kind of just sealed it with the closing. So my point's going to Jacob.
Okay, so Jacob seals it with his closing. Nick, gonna go to you for number 2. Who won this round for you and why?
This was an interesting round. I think they both kind of got caught up in the it counts as a dog movie and it doesn't count as a dog movie thing. I ultimately decided to side with Jacob just a tad bit on the basis that there is more for Beethoven to do in his movie versus the dogs in Best in Show. So that's why I went with Jacob.
Hey, I know I'm not supposed to say nothing, but they both lose. They're both incorrect. The correct answer was Cats and Dogs. I'm ashamed of both of you.
I give it the Homeward Bound. That's not much of a comment.
Shamed.
Hey, Homeward Bound is
Oliver and Company. No, Oliver and Company.
No. Cats and Dogs.
Hey,
no debate.
There you go.
I would have given it to Matt anyway, though.
Lady and the Tramp. Anyway, all right.
So,
I'm gonna take you guys out. Yeah, 101 Dalmatians is for sure a good one. All right, we'll put Matt.
See, I would have went with Cats and Dogs. However, that would have just been too easy. Like, I think if that would have popped up as an answer, Jacob would have left the group chat.
Because we wouldn't be doing this right now.
We wouldn't be playing.
Yeah, there would be.
Sometimes you can't go with the obvious answer.
You got to make it interesting.
So Jacob comes out of round number 3 up 2-1. So we're going to number 4. And this is a huge question. Could be the winner for Jacob if I can get to it on my computer. Sorry, guys. Here we go. Question number 4. Matt needs it. What is the best film that is focused on the sport of baseball? Man, I like this question. Look at me. I'm in my. You guys at home, you'll see later, but I am rocking my Brave shirt. Like, all right, I'm out of here. But yeah, what film is the best film focused on the sport of baseball? Let me rock this. There we go. All right. So, Jacob, you'll be going first on this one. All right. So, 1 minute opening. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and your 1 minute will start whenever you start talking.
Yeah, this was an interesting question because I think baseball movies there's a ton of good options. But I ultimately decided to go with one that not only see baseball, but you see behind the scenes. And I went with Moneyball. I think Moneyball is absolutely an incredible movie. It dives into the behind the scenes and, kind of like we're trying to make this team, but we're not trying to spend too much money, and going into statistics and everything while still getting really good baseball action, not only scripted baseball scenes, but also like you see highlights from the past. And I just think this movie is well written. I think it's well acted. Brad Pitt, Jonah Hill, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Chris Pratt in an earlier role before he was kind of a lead man. I just think diving into the behind the scenes is a really interesting way to go, rather than just doing a basic baseball movie.
Time. All right, good opening there for the barber. Gonna go to Matt Beer. Your opening starts 1 minute whenever you start talking, sir.
I'm gonna make this one pretty quick. There we go. I caught myself before you did.
You got
Look at that. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me now. I didn't think I'd get here. But again, when you think of great baseball movies, or you just think of baseball movies in general, what's the first one that's going to come up in your head? It is not going to be Moneyball. It's going to be Bull Durham. I think Bull Durham is the best baseball movie. I think you can make an argument that it is the best sports movie, period. You got great performances. Susan Sarandon is phenomenal in this movie as Annie. You got Kevin Costner, who is at the height of his power at that time, gives a great performance as well. He's always great in sports movies, but this one in particular, he just knocked out of the park. Puns, that's going to be time. Look at that.
Just on time. 3, 2, 1, and time is up. All right, so
I have a baseball now I feel left out.
We will go to the 2 minute, 2 minute argument. Go ahead, and Jacob, you can start whenever you start talking, sir.
I'll agree with you. Moneyball, probably not the first movie you're going to think of when you think of baseball movies, but I don't think Bull Durham is either. People are going to go to The Sandlot or Field of Dreams, Major League, stuff like that. But when you really start and think about it, you want a movie that not only does baseball well, but has really good performances, and I think you get both of those in Moneyball. Jonah Hill doing a dramatic performance. I think one of the earlier dramatic performances for him. If he did something earlier, I'm unaware of it. If Aaron was here, he would fact check me. But Moneyball, it's an interesting look into the behind the scenes of a real life situation where Billy Beane actually did this, and the Oakland A's were very successful for the season, and it was a formula that worked. Bull Durham, it felt like, looking back on it, it's a good baseball movie with a rom-com storyline in the middle. Nothing too memorable. It's your run-of-the-mill baseball movie, I feel like. Whereas Moneyball is something different. Sure, there's good performances in Bull Durham. I'm not gonna deny that, but there's nothing. And I just watched it this morning. I'm gonna be honest. I just watched it this morning. I was very unprepared had we did this earlier. So I just watched it earlier, and I'm already, sure, Kevin Costner was good. Susan Sarandon was good. Tim Robbins was good, but there's really nothing that's sticking in my mind. Whereas in Moneyball, the scenes where they're going over statistics, the dynamic between Brad Pitt and Jonah Hill is really good. I think Susan Sarandon and Tim Robbins had good chemistry, but I can't remember. There's some good comedy, sure, but I think as the sport of baseball,
And time. That'll be time. All right. So some good argument there by Jacob. And then we'll go to our 2 minute for 2 minute for Matt. Whenever you start speaking, sir. And you're muted.
I'm kidding. I wasn't muted. I wasn't. I tricked you.
You're lip syncing.
Just great acting right there, unlike in Moneyball. All
right.
So, like you say, there's not really anything memorable in Bull Durham, and I call bull on that. For example, I think some of the dialogue in this movie is absolutely memorable. You got the lollygaggers scene, the whole lollygaggers thing. Really funny moment. And you know what? I even wrote out the whole thing. That way you can remember it and you can realize how funny it is. So here it is. Where's that? I got my notes written. We're going to get to it later. Because I can't find where I have it started. Anyway, but the lollygagger scene is great in this movie. That's going to really help me when it comes to the points. Absolutely love that. The pacing in this movie is really great too. It just boom, 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 it flies. There's no dead air. There's no just, let's go up and let's go pee moments. This thing goes. The script, I think, is very witty. I think it's sharp. I think it's one of the best scripts for any sports movie in general, not just the best script for a baseball film. I think the chemistry with the actors is all really good in this film, too. Moneyball is good. Like, I enjoy Moneyball. The timer went away, which is okay. Did Kevin go away? Yes, Kevin went away.
Perfect.
I'll just say that's my time.
I think you have 40 seconds left, but I'll watch the timer in the corner. Keep going.
No.
And now you're gone. We'll do it live, guys. You're back.
All right, guys. So after that, we will go into our 4 minute round. That'll be a battle between the two on the best film focused on the sport of baseball. Is it Moneyball? Is it Bull Durham? We will see. You guys, know how it works. Just give each other some time. But the time will start when the first person starts talking.
I really hope you find that lollygagger stuff because I honestly don't remember it. I don't remember laughing very much in this movie. I think the most memorable scene for me was when they were sliding into the bases after a game with the sprinklers going. I think Moneyball is a much smarter movie because it's not only focused on the sport of baseball, on the field. It's also focused on it behind the scenes, and it's something that we haven't really gotten in a sports movie. Between this and Draft Day, we don't get very many behind the scenes, and I think it's an interesting concept, and it's a very, if you're a fan of baseball, especially if you're a fan of this time period of baseball, I think this is a really good movie, and it's a nice, even though it was only 10 years past when the actual events happened, It's nice to go back because this was a 2011 movie. It's a focus on the 2002 A's. Bull Durham, again, it feels like now it's just a generic baseball movie that if you want to watch a baseball movie and you don't really care if you pay attention or not, yeah, sure, throw on Bull Durham.
So I did find the line. I did find in my notes. Finally, you see, I didn't have the quotation at the start of it, but here it is. Okay, this is great acting you're about to witness here. You guys, you lollygag the ball around the infield. You lollygag your way down the first. You lollygag in and out of the dugout. You know what that makes you, Larry? Lollygaggers. Lollygaggers. What's your record, Larry? 8-16. 8-16. How did we even win 8? It's a miracle. Like, there's a lot of great scenes, and that's obviously one of the more iconic moments in that movie. But here's the thing. Like, Moneyball is strictly a baseball movie. It doesn't have anything else to offer but baseball. Bull Durham
It absolutely does. We do see, Brad Pitt and his daughter. There's a lot of focus on that as well.
But that's not like a genre. That's just the thing. Like Bull Durham is not just a sports movie, but it's also a rom-com. But Moneyball's a drama. It's just a drama. But
but it's focused on the sport of baseball in two different lights. It's focused on it on the field and behind the scenes.
It shows some behind-the-scenes stuff, sure, but for one, people involved with the A's and just people that understood that story,
a lot of statistics
did not like it.
Statistics, it's great if you're into that behind the scenes. Like if you're into, building a team. Like I feel like maybe fantasy would be like, oh yeah, let's look at the statistics, because statistics is a big thing in baseball. I said statistics. I'm fumbling now because I said statistics so many times. Statistics. But it's a hard word to say multiple times in a row. Again, Bull Durham. You brought up, if that's the best you got from Bull Durham, I'm worried, because
here's the thing.
Here's the thing. Not funny.
Statistics are cool if you like fantasy football, but it doesn't make a movie better and it doesn't make a movie worse. It's just there. And also,
it makes it more interesting.
It says it's based on a true story, but people that were involved in that situation, people around it, were like, it's not really. Just like draft day, you brought up draft day. That's not exactly how the draft works. No, but that's not exactly how it ends up working. Like it's
no
fantasy
as a
football.
Seattle Seahawks fan, I'm a little on that movie.
It's like it's like Madden, the movie. But again, like Ron Shelton directed this movie, wrote the movie too, did a great job writing, directing, wrote a very smart, witty script. I think the performances in this film, Bull Durham, are all fantastic. I think when you look at Moneyball, again, the statistics, if I want to watch statistics in a movie about baseball, I'll just watch a documentary. It does, because a documentary, that's what's for. It doesn't really add to the film. The movie's just...
That's time, guys. All right, so your 4 minutes is up. Great round. A lot of info for the judges. I don't envy them, not one bit. So we'll go into our 1 minute closing rounds. We will start with Jacob. You will do your 1 minute closing, and you will start, or your time will start whenever you start talking.
It's not just statistics. It's just that's what sets this movie apart, is the statistics, as well as the on the field action. But you also mentioned another genre. Well, I mean, sure, it's a drama. It's a sports drama, and that's what most movies based on sports. It's either a sports comedy or a sports drama. You're not blending different genres. So I don't get that argument. But you get the statistics, you get the behind the scenes, you get the on the field, you get Brad Pitt and his daughter, you get that dynamic. There's a lot going on in this movie. It was nominated for Best Picture for a reason, but it was nominated in a strong year. Bull Durham, again, strong performances, sure, it's fine, but it's not really that memorable when you think about it. There's lots of baseball movies that came out around that time that you could put on. You got Field of Dreams, The Sandlot, Major League, A League of Their Own. There's a lot more that focus just on baseball. This one did more.
And time. All right, so that'll close out Barber's Let's reset it to 1 minute and send it over to Beer. Your final argument for this round, starting when you begin speaking, sir.
Okay, again, statistics. If I want to watch a movie or whatever and learn about statistics, I'll watch a documentary, not a movie that's supposed to be about baseball. That's supposed to entertain me. I think Moneyball's a decent film. I don't think it's even close to being the best baseball movie. I think there's been better movies that came out around that time, like 42. I think 42 was a better baseball movie, and I think it's just a better movie in general. The dialogue is solid, not great. It's fine. Again, you add statistics, but who cares about statistics? Just fantasy people care about statistics. Solid performances. I don't think they really hold up to what Bull Durham has. I think Jonah Hill is good in the movie, but Brad Pitt's kind of there. The daughter storyline was just like, hey, we got to add something, whatever. But Bull Durham, it holds up to this day. Came out in the 90s. You got great performances from Susan Sarandon, Kevin Costner. Got a great script. It's very smart, very witty, great directed. It's paced very well.
Time. All right, guys. A lot to weigh for the judges. Great job. And let's pull you guys to the back. And we will pull the judges to the front. We'll do Nick, Dr. Spaceman, and Ryan. All right. So, best film focused on the sport of baseball. Who? We'll start this round with Alan. Who won this round for you and why?
Since Aaron is not here, I'll do a fact check. And Matthew brought up the fact that.
Thank you. I wish I was Aaron and could do the fact checking.
No, you're doing a fantastic job. You're not, making your own separate argument with the facts like Aaron does. Love you, Aaron. But Matt said that Susan Sarandon gave a great performance, but Susan Sarandon was also in Cats and Dogs, and so I ding him for that. Because he did not choose Cats and Dogs. Again, I'm very upset about this. However, based off both arguments, they both did very well, but the slight edge is going to go to Jacob
Barber. Okay. So then we will move to Ryan Payne. Who do you select as the winner of this round, and why, sir?
Well, this one was at first kind of difficult for me to tell because it really, Matt brought up a lot of he used the word semantics a lot when it came with the dog question. So this one, unfortunately, had to fall down to semantics, meaning the point of the question, film focused on the sport of baseball, and that goes to Jacob. As much as Matt brought up some great, at least how Bull Durham has good chemistry and the whole that. What was it? The shenanigans, whatever that line was from Bill Durham that he was focusing so much on, it detracted from him wanting to attack more on Jacob's argument on Moneyball. And unfortunately, he stood his ground on Moneyball and why it does a good job focusing on the sport of baseball. I would love to hear more from both of them, but as far as from what we got, Jacob just gave more. So my point goes to Jacob.
Your point goes to Jacob. All right. And your winner, Jacob Barber. Congratulations to Jacob. A hell of a battle. Some awesome questions, I think. Some real thinkers. You know what I mean? Some things I don't know if I could have handled. Let's talk to the losing competitor first, in a twist, because he has to get out of here. So we're gonna talk to Matt Beer.
The cat's not happy. He's swinging. Oh, swinging fist.
He's pissed.
He's taking names.
You made him mad. You lost. So
You made
how are
Cat
you
Damon upset.
how are you feeling after this loss?
I don't know. I obviously wanted to win.
Yeah,
Jacob,
for sure. Yeah.
Jacob is a really good competitor and good debater. Me, if I don't have any notes, I fumble on my words. And I think I need to watch movies and I need to write notes on those movies when I watch them. But no, Jacob was great. Brought up a lot of good points. But we move forward. Thank you, Aaron. I appreciate you for putting me up against Jacob.
Yeah, I mean, and this unfortunately being your second loss in a row, what do you do to change your style, your do you watch more movies? Do you take more notes? Do you start trying to go off the pattern of reading a script, if you were?
I think what I need to do is he is really upset right now. I need to watch movies. I need to watch the movies that I say is the best
That
or
helps,
worst of
yeah.
whatever the thing is. Just prepare. I need to be better preparing. I'm very last minute. I'm very very much I do a bunch of things and then I just kind of don't watch the movies, and then by the time we get to match day, I'm like, oh, I gotta slam all these movies into my brain.
Oh yeah, I was supposed to watch all the.
And it's like I forgot there's a match tomorrow. Let's
Right.
let's actually watch the movies real quick.
Yeah,
So yeah,
for
it's
real.
all watch the movies once or twice, and then write notes the second time. That's what I gotta do.
Good. Hey, I
And,
mean, at least you
people
have
that are not good at debating is another good thing too.
yeah, for sure. I mean, at least you
Helen
have
Keller, you want to debate me?
right. You have a plan. Just stick to it, and I think you can climb up the ladder.
Yeah.
All right, Matt. Thank you for being here, and we will see you next time, buddy.
I'll see y'all later.
And let's talk to our winner this evening, Jacob Barber, 3-1, a big victory. He came in here thinking he was going to lose, but man, did he not. He came out rebounding solid with a solid win tonight. Unfortunate timing of the match recording means you'll miss out on a tournament spot, but that does mean you'll more than likely play another like 50-50 competitor is what Aaron's calling it. How are you feeling about your next match?
I'm feeling good. This is 2 in a row. I was a little worried after that first point. I was like, oh, this could be a long match, but
Yeah.
I guess I did enough in those final 3 rounds to pull out the points. There were moments where I was like, I think Matt's got this. I think, oh, that's a really good point. But the judges, it all comes down to judging too. Like whoever's in the judges' chairs, and they just happen to lean towards my side this time. I was fortunate enough for that, but I think overall this was a great match, and again more learning points because I mean I was kind of prepared, but I think I could be better prepared. I mean Matt brought it and he showed me like, hey, sometimes notes are important.
Notes are definitely important. I try to go by notes, but at the same time, you have to go by what you know.
Right.
So it's a balance. But you did a great job tonight. Congratulations, and we look forward to what you do here in the Movie Battleground in the future.
Appreciate it.
All right, we'll drop you to the back. Okay, so that closes out our show tonight. Aaron wanted to let you guys to know that thank you to the judges. I want to do a big thank you to the judges. I know I kind of did that earlier, but I can't do this without the judges, obviously. So thank you to the judges for being here and doing what they do. They are a key to this match. And congratulations to Jacob Barber. A great comeback, if I had to say so myself, especially after that first round. Subscribe to the TMG channel, TMG Entertainment, and TMG Trivia. You can subscribe to our Facebook channels. We have YouTube channels. Subscribe, and turn on notifications. And we post these movie battlegrounds. Aaron is posting these constantly, so you definitely want to watch the tournament. I will tell you that. So that'll be it for tonight. Thank you very much for being a part of this match. Matt falls to Jacob 3-1, so Jacob moves on, and we'll see you next time in the movie battleground.